Hey guys, my name is Mahdi Almusawi. Thank you for joining me today. Today's video is about a feasibility case studies if you're a business analyst or in marketing. As we follow through on this process, we're going to emphasize our logic and reasoning that are relevant to what we're trying to achieve. That way we build up our best practice and we stay cruisy. There are three services offered by the ABS: TableBuilder, Microdata, and DataLab. TableBuilder gives you summary per variable. Microdata gives you a sample set per survey, while DataLab gives you net gross data collected, 25 million entries. In the case of DataLab, it's restricted access, and each university only has 15 licenses, and they pick and choose who gets to use them. If you're a student as part of a university or any other tertiary institution, you'll get it for free. If you're a employee as part of a workplace that has a commercial license for ABS, you get it for free as well. Australian-only organizations that are Australian-owned are qualified to get TableBuilder and Microdata services, but they have to pay $2,900 per year, and they get to issue unlimited licenses per for their employees, but they have to sign NDAs.
So first things first, you gotta go to the ABS website. You click on statistics, come down to data services, and you go Microdata Table Builder. If you don't yet have an account, you have to make an account first before you could use a table builder. So you go log into your accounts, go registration center. In here is where you register for your new account. Just fill out your details normally. Make sure you get your student ID or your employee ID, etc. Log into Table Builder. After you log in, you'll come to a page that looks like this. You could browse and play around with these datasets. My personal favorite, employee earnings and hours. This thing has a lot of interesting. It has some complex calculations. You could play around with these on your own. But for the time being, we'll focus on simple stuff. So these are the two sets. First, we need to establish what our x-axis variable will be. So will it be sex? Will it be age? Let's start off with sex, because it's easy to do so. So if I select this and I select that, if I want to put something on the x-axis, it's going to be in the first column, but the subsets are going to be rows. So it will be here. I'll click in row. If I need these two variables to be significant in the selection order, I click the selection order and will import them on the tables in that order. Otherwise, I just put them in ordinary hierarchical order. And there we go. They show up here on this side. Our next step is to pick a y-axis, a respondent variable. The y-axis will be put into the columns. So we have that. Chief executive and general manager. So level 1 will be like managers, professionals, technicians. Level 2 would be so on and so forth. So we'll go through all 4 levels. I think we'll start with here, and then we'll go into here. I click one instead of clicking all of them at the same time. I just hold shift, click that, all done. Hierarchical order, done. It would not show the actual values because it hasn't withdrawn them from the census data set yet. There's 25 million entries plus God knows how many attributes per entry for each citizen. So your computer won't be able to handle that. So what you do, once you have it here, if you want to change something, you just pick it up and you just like delete it. So sex is in the x-axis, roles is in the y-axis. So this is group 1, and these are all other groups as well. But all other groups are considered respondents to group 1. So this is x1 and this is xj, yeah. Make sure you select comma separated value, or if you want to do an Excel, click Excel, Q table, and name your table. Standard industry by sex. Standard industry by sex. Click Q table. Now, if I go here, now if I go here, it should show up there in the Shiba table. Look, it's complete. Click and download. Let's see let's turn it into something more simple. Control T, turn it into a table, something that we could work with now. And then reorganize. Comparative line charts. Personally, I would just go stack bars. Make sure you keep out the totals. The totals will skew your results. And select your chart. Now it's going to come up like this. It's going to be differentiated. Just go up here, switch column and row. Then you get your division. There's a comparison of gender concentrations, blue being male, red being females in women, community and personal services, clerical, administrative, and sales, but not so much in machinery, not so much in laboring, not so much as technicians. Ordinary professionals, yes, managers, lacking. So they dominated 1, 2, 3. 3 industries and equal in 1, while male dominant 1, 2, 3, 4 industries and equal in 1.
Okay, now that we have a general idea of what the labor market looks like when it's divided by sex, I'm gonna put the sex on the y-axis as a respondent, and then now I'm going to get one of the detailed breakdowns. Now I have it as this. It's decently long, but it's fine. 359 rows. You can change the rows settings. Now I'm going to queue it up, but I'm going to make sure I do it with Excel first. Some values have an asterisk on them. Just be sure to read them before you use them. Now we were able to draw out a visualization from the dataset, but it's unreadable. I think we should go back in and add the differences and use the differences to rank the data. So the differences here is that it's males minus females over the totals, which should give us a percentage. So now that it's organized, as we can see, there are some zeros here. These are areas that are under surveyed. As you see, there's some sections that have over 100%. That's because the ABS anonymizes data to at least a minimum of 5 to 10 degrees of freedom to maintain anonymity and protect national security. However, now it's a lot more visible that our data set is much more aligned. And as we could see from here, there is a clear difference. The blue is the males, the red is the females, and we could see the industry division. Where do women gravitate towards, or where do men gravitate towards? The general rule of thumb is that society likes to tell us that in every industry it's equal. But as you can see, industry is clearly divided equally against per roles, with one gender preferring one end of the labor market and another gender preferring another end of the labor market. And where we meet in the middle is more often than not the administration section. The data is incredibly big and dare I say a little bit prohibitive to navigate. So I'm just gonna cheat and look at the table. Straight away, from manufacturing, telecommunications, labor, as we expect. It was mainly as labor work. Anesthetics though, that's surprising to know that Anesthesiologists are almost 100% doctors. Males, my apologies. Truck drivers, obviously. And then if we go all the way down, we could see that women deal with the softer social side of things. They're housekeepers, they're midwives, they're nutritional professionals, they're personal assistants, vending machines, veterinarians, 80%, which is fascinating. Clothing trades workers, retail basically, filing, visual merchandisers, interior designers, fashion industrial designers, anything that most things that deal with aesthetics and the front of house and the human social condition, that's where you'll find women. Stuff that deals with quality of life. But now it's equalizing, where we're around the 0%. Podiatrists, gallery, museum tour guides, these areas. Let's go back and try add age ranges this time. Age and sex are difficult to compartmentalize into the table when you try to index it against occupation. And then we decide to put in sex, and then we try to somehow add ages as well. We'll get this multi-layered forking, which makes it difficult to navigate. So what we can do instead is we leave the age ranges here, but we remove sex, and then we can add it back as a wafer. Now, what the table will do is it will generate the exact same table for males, it will generate the exact same table for females only, and it will generate a third table with the exact same features for the totals. That way, it makes it easier to visualize and compare. And when we want to import into Excel and draw an image, it will be a lot more friendlier to work with. I've already gone and saved this table, and this is what it would look like. You've got some details there, and then these stars are represented by disclaimers. Disclaimer being standard error. So if you just clean this up, removing the standard error columns, you'll be able to visualize a table that looks like this and add in the differences, which I've already done. So total versus males versus females, the difference, and then I've got the percentage here in males and the percentage here for females. You can visualize it as a chart that looks like this. At the moment, this doesn't really say much, but this one says a lot more. This one's a stacked percentage chart. We have a similar pattern to what we've previously discussed, but what we're really looking for here is, while this shows that the division of sexes by industry, we want to know which industries are actually the biggest. So as you can see here, the biggest industries are held by women overall. However, the reason that these biggest industries are held by women is because these industries tend to be closer to front of house, closer to retail. They are downstream of the supply chain. These are businesses that are business to consumers, B2C and businesses. While when you go to industries that are predominantly B2B, you get male domination. Even though these industries are overall smaller individually, cumulatively, they add up to represent a bigger share value of income, as one can derive from reading the information directly, because that's just the nature of being upstream of the supply chain.